Morning, folks. Well, I'm up and at 'em. It's the first morning here in the big city. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. I spent last night parked at a 24-hour gym. And here in the city, there is a lot of street noise, but my parking spot was a good choice, pretty secure. No one bothered me, and I have a pass to use the gym. I have not joined anyone yet. I'm still deciding if I want a membership or not. But the main thing on my to-do list today is laundry, and that's because I am setting new records all the time now that I have permission to live off-grid. I'm not doing laundry as often as I did when I lived in a house or an apartment which had washer and dryer on site. And it's like the gym. I can't remember the last time I was in the laundromat. Maybe never. I mean, don't get me wrong. I spent years, probably like over a decade, using coin-operated machines because I did live in an apartment up until I was about 30. I was saving for the down payment on my house in my 20s. And before that, I lived in dorms. And so there was always a laundry room somewhere, in the apartment complex or on the campus on site and student housing. And I would just go down there and make sure I had my quarters and stuff. So how things have changed, I don't know. I've, looked on, I know where I'm going. I've seen the pictures and everything because I use maps to navigate strange cities. I wouldn't be able to get around without it. I look at the reviews and the pictures, and I was going to go into another place, but I read the reviews and they were all don't waste your money. This place is you'll walk out with a bunch of wet laundry and end up just having to do it again. So that's why I read reviews, and I appreciate people that drop reviews and who share their authentic experience. But I think I found a place that's got, over 4.5 stars and seems to be pretty well customer reviewed. So I'm going to give it a chance. And yeah, 2 months worth. I've got two big bulging bags and then some. And I've probably brought too many clothes with me. But then again, I haven't been showering that often, and I've been wearing the same clothes for multiple days, which you do. Sometimes, because it's sponge baths, sometimes, just changing socks or, shirts or, whatever you need to do to stay clean, but you're still wearing things. And I think most nomads or people that live off-grid, full-time campers, part-time campers, they have comfortable clothing. I don't know what everybody does, but very often I will sleep in the same clothes that I wore all day because they're comfortable. And that's actually something I look for in clothes. Is this something that would be comfortable enough that I could take a nap in it? And if the answer is yes, well, that's a big plus for me, because I'm probably going to buy that if I need clothes, which I don't. I've gotten rid of so many clothes. Oh my gosh, you guys would not believe what a clotheshorse I used to be. Bulging closets in more than one room, and I had a hard time letting stuff go. It's one of the hardest things I ever did because I love fashion and design, and to me it's an art form. So I just don't have the lifestyle to get fancy the way I used to. And quite honestly, a lot of times I would buy clothes that I just loved, but I had nowhere to wear. And you'll think, like, I'll buy it, and I'll find a place to wear it, or if I'll get invited, I'll have this or that to go to, and I'll be ready, because I'm going to wear this, and then maybe you don't. So I did have some clothes that still had, price tags on it and things like that. And with this lifestyle, you just can't live like that. With small space comes making very strong decisions about what you won't do, should buy, shouldn't buy, should have, it's not worth it, it's going to cost me more money to store it, or it's going to get in my way, unless it has some pretty strong value, like it's something I'm going to use or wear or consume quickly and often. It's just not a viable purchase. And that's, kind of the beginning of minimalism, is like, well, I would much rather have the simplicity in my life than just be drowning in stuff to the point that I don't even know what I have anymore. And that's the thing. Things get shoved into the backs of closets and boxes and bins and drawers. You can't see it anymore. And, you forget it's there. The system I have now for organization is mainly in bags. I mean, you got to put stuff in something. But, it's sort of, modular. And as long as I can remember, like, okay, that bag is for this type of stuff. And I move the bags around, and as long as I can remember kind of what's in the bag, and I don't have that many, it's actually a lot easier for me than trying to remember, like, oh, what do I have in that drawer? What do I have in that closet? What's in that box? Because I don't have that many bags, and the bags that I do have, I'm getting in them pretty often to, like, find stuff, or, get something out, put something away, move something somewhere else that makes more intuitive sense. And, I realize that's kind of all life is, really, is, we're just moving. We're all just traveling. We're moving around, and we're moving stuff around. And that's life. And that's why sometimes, it can be therapy just to, like, organize or clean. I always found that to be true. At times, I could, if I was, going through an emotional, like, trying to sort something out, or, feeling kind of low in my energy or my mood and morale, taking a cleaning day or an organizational day to, just clean something out, or, clean out a drawer even, or, change something, put something in something else, and it will give you a new perspective on it. If you put something in a new container, or, a new place, a new drawer, organize it differently, it's amazing how much it changes your perception of it. And, there's tons of psychology behind that. I mean, in a store, it's no accident that things are where they are on the shelves. It's the same principle, like, you put things at the end of an aisle because people are more likely to see it as they're usually turning an aisle, or, things that are kind of at eye level, things like that. And I think it's called merchandising. So, the main thing is finding a system that works for you. And that's really all we are doing is, finding ideas, teachers, other people that can, we can learn from, that are teaching us new habits, new hacks, and new ideas, giving us systems that are going to make us more productive or organized, or, fulfill our goals, keep our energy and our morale up. And for me, that has meant embracing a less is more philosophy, and getting down to the simplicity and essentials of life. And I'm a whole lot happier now that I have spent over a year decompressing from being a homeowner for over 20 years to apartment dweller, and now this. And, you know, I heard that your possessions possess you so many times. And at first, when I heard that, I didn't believe it, but I believe it now that I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff I don't really miss. It's more the experience. Like, I miss having a large space so I could exercise at home, and dance in my living room like no one was watching. I don't have that anymore. So yeah, there were things like that that were keeping me tied to what I had. And a lot of other things too. You know, I had tons of collections, like I said, of clothes. I had, you know, like almost every kitchen gadget you can imagine, because I love to cook, and I don't cook anymore. So I've given up some things, but I've gained the world. I gave it up for travel, and for a mobile lifestyle where I could be closer to living my true values, spending time in a natural setting as much as I can. And yes, I am here in the city, doing some urban camping because I think that's a necessary skill for anyone that is doing wild camping. Obviously, you have to come back into, you know, towns, you know, and cities to, you know, visit people, resupply. And, you know, it is nice to have a variety of stores and choices. It can also be kind of overwhelming. So I think in today's world, the more adaptable you can be, the better. And so I am still kind of figuring out what turns me on, what feels best, and embracing this lifestyle where, yeah, it's really, really different when, you know, probably the number one decision that you're making on a daily basis when you're a full-time road tripper, overlander, nomad. There's a lot of names for it, but essentially someone that is, you know, RVing or doing the van thing. Being a full-time camper, a part-time camper, is where you're gonna park. And so I'm exploring that more as I'm here in the city, because it's one thing to find, especially in the western states, there's public land, and if you don't want to, you know, spend a bunch of money on campsites that are, you know, 10-20 bucks a night or whatever they are. But if you are trying to do it simply and you know, minimal waste, minimal expenditure, it's very doable. You know, some people, they really, really want to do campsites and more like, you know, it's not really off grid then, you know, but where you can plug up to power and, you know, dump your tanks and, you know, get the water and everything right there. But if you don't have that, and I'm completely off grid except for phone and internet, that's basically my only utility. So I have water jugs that I fill up, and I have a power station that I charge mainly with solar. There's other ways you can charge it, but it's essentially what I run, you know, a computer off of. I, you know, charge all my electronics up on it. And, you know, can power up a, you know, tea kettle or, you know, whatever's electric. Essentially, I don't do anything with gas, mainly because I just don't, it's just kind of one more thing to buy. So I'm trying to keep it all electric power only, for like, and I did keep a little stove. So at some point I will cook some stuff, but it's not going to be anything like what I used to when I had, you know, the 4-burner stove. I had a gas stove, and I had all my pots, and just, you know, really getting into it. It's not going to be like that anymore. But, you know, having acquired the basic skills, I think, you know, I can translate that to being a camper. So it's about taking the skills that you have and translating that to your new lifestyle. And what you don't know, you can learn from someone else very easy. I think through observational learning, and that's basically what we're all doing. And there's pretty much a video for everything these days. So I have learned so much from so many people who have made videos. Thank you. And I've always wanted to do the same for other people. So hopefully you are getting something from these videos, and I wish you very well on whatever your journey is. And I think we're all looking for that fabled city called authenticity, where we can live in congruence with our true values. And it's a state of mind as well as a destination. And so I do think of authenticity as like authenticity, the way it's spelled. It's a destination, and the journey is the state of mind getting there.
Dijo que me iba a llamar, por eso me iba por ayudarte, porque ella me dijo que ella me llamaba y que quería que